Hey guys, what's going on? Well, the video's kind of deteriorated. I've been trying to take videos and I keep having shit interrupt me. I got these two guns in there, airsoft guns. I wanted to see what they look like in relation to the model Python that I've got. I have got the real Colt Pythons. I collect guns. I've been a gun collector ever since I was 12. And actually, when the gun that first sparked my interest was a gun my dad had. This is one like it. It's a Colt Cobra, and they're just beautiful. Deep royal blue. You've seen it in the other videos. I've got several. I've got a lot of. I've got all the generations of the Cobras. I've got even the King Cobra 6-inch, which is a lot like the Python, but it's made on a different frame. People say that a lot of these younger airsoft guys will say that, you know, these guns here are 44 Magnums. They're not. Python never made a 44 Magnum. The Anaconda is made on a different frame. These are I-frame guns. Colt really did a good job. Pythons are exceptional because they're not only beautiful, they've got a deep royal blue finish. This is a model. I'll get into it in a minute, but the Pythons have a polished internal lock works in them. They're incredibly accurate. I mean, just incredibly accurate. They're super reliable. They're beautiful guns. They're sexy guns. And I mean, you know, if you can equate sex appeal to a gun, the Python is one that you can do that to. They're just that damn beautiful. And this one is just a model. It's made out of ABS plastic. But back in the late 70s, early 80s, I ran into the Model Gun Company. And that's their logo. They made a Colt Python, and it says Python 357. It's got the stampings on it, you know, 357 Magnum cartridge. It doesn't have the logo. I wish it did. I wish it had the rampant Colt on it. It does have the grooved trigger, simulated walnut grips. They did as good a job as they could. They should have polished this, you know, because it's not true to the actual Colt hammer. But, you know, for 50 bucks, you know, which is about what this costs, or maybe 60, I thought it was a pretty good deal. If anybody out there has any replica models, please post them, because I never see these guns anymore. And no, they're not the greatest guns in the world. They're model guns. They're not made to fire airsoft. This was before airsoft. They do take 38 cartridge shells, but don't try and load a real bullet into one of these or you'll blow your hand off. You know, they're not made, you know, they've got a barrel block in them, and they're made out of ABS plastic. I've got a 4-inch that is made out of zinc, and it's got a dull blue finish, and it's got a real poor fit and finish on it. But this one isn't bad. I think they did a good job with it. But anyway, so I got these two. I started looking on YouTube, and there's a gun I'm going to get that's a CO2 gun, and it's made by Dan Wesson. And Dan Wesson, hang on. This has been a long video. Shoot, everything's gone wrong. Dan Wesson pistol packs. I want a Dan Wesson pistol pack. The actual Dan Wesson pistol pack. I have a lot of 357 Magnums, but I like the frame of the Dan Wesson. It's not, this is an I-frame, by the way. Colt Pythons are made on an I-frame. They're not 44 Magnums. They made a 38 target, and they made 357 Magnums with Colt Pythons. They did not make a Colt Python that was a 44 Magnum, ever. They've got the vent rib, they've got the ramp, They've got adjustable rear sights, and this is a model, and you know, I mean, it just barely touches on the beauty of the real Colts. And when you want to see a real Colt, just go in my videos. You'll see the real Pythons, you know, in all their beauty. But these, for 35 bucks a piece, they're made by UHC. They run on green gas. I don't care anything about green gas. I don't care anything about airsoft. But, you know, for you airsofters out there, you can thumb down this video if you want. I don't give a rat's ass. I don't look at thumbs down. I don't look at voting and shit like that. I'm not up for subscriptions and crap like that. But anyway, they make these in the 2.5 inch, the 6 inch, the 8 inch. They do have the Packmeyer type grips on them. And they make different models. They've got the Smith & Wesson series too. Really nice. And I thought, well, I wonder if they're shit. You know, I mean, I wonder if they're very good. And I looked and I saw, you know, there were a lot of guys who had these. And I thought, well, you know, I mean, they look pretty good to me. 35 bucks, you know, I mean, it's worth a shot. And I was surprised at how good they turned out. You know, they come with your, you know, safety and, you know, your warranty, which I just completely thrashed. And then you'll see that soon. And, you know, don't point it at your head, don't do all this. Well, that's not why I got this gun. The first thing I did, here's what the gun looks like when it comes in the package. It comes with 6 shells. You can open this up. You've got BBs and you've got 2 reserves. Then you've got a jam. This will unjam a cartridge. You airsofters know a lot more about airsoft than I do. I don't care about airsoft. That's not why I got this gun. But I got this gun and I really liked it. One thing I didn't like was that orange plug. First thing I did was I went and got a pair of needle nose pliers and yanked that off. You guys can nag me all you want about yanking that off, but I don't give a fuck. You know, these are replica guns for display use only. These aren't going to be, they do have a green gas. This is how you load them. They will fire green gas airsoft, but I don't like that plug. They do have a red ramp on them. They do have the ramp. They've got the vent rib. It's a dulled finish, but it's a beautiful, you know, those grips couldn't get much closer. They're plastic. You know, this is a plastic gun for the most part, but those grips couldn't get more beautiful. They did a real good job in replicating the Colt Python. I mean, all the way down. They did a good job on it. You know, I think this is a really good value for the money. You know, if you're an airsofter, leave that orange plug on. But if you're not, and if you just like, you know, if you've got holsters, like I collect a lot of holsters, well, I like having guns in the holsters, and I like to have some on display. Well, I don't like to have pythons, you know, expensive pythons in those holsters. I just don't like that practice. They've got a very good finish, but you open the cylinder. It's got the cylinder release. You open it up. It does have an ejection mechanism, and you've also got, let's see here, the BBs, not BBs, but shells. I'm not going to load the airsoft shells in this. This isn't going to be a shooting review. This isn't going to be anything like this. This isn't why I got the gun. I'm going to take these, I'm going to turn these, I'm going to see if I can't get something to fill that up with, to actually look like they're jacketed. But this isn't something you do. You don't just take off something like this and go out and carry it in the street. You know, if you want to get your head blown off, if you want to get arrested, that's a very quick way to do it. But you know, these shells actually, will, you put the BB in here, and they don't fit very good, but the shells do. And for, you know, a replica, it's not bad. Double action, single action, and it's relatively smooth. I mean, it's a very, very good, fun, dry firing gun. They make these in the 4, and I did get a 4-inch. So, you know, you compare these two, and, you know, when you look at the one from the past and you look from the one that people are actually putting out now, hell, I think that's a good bargain. You know, that a lot of time went into that gun. But you know, you yank one of those plugs off, and the first thing they're going to do is say, "We're not going to." You know, you want to take that thing back? Screw you. You know, I mean, you just violated the Federal Restriction Trade Commission of, you know, blah 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 bullshit. You know, well, fuck you. You know, I mean, I want something that is going to be good display in a holster, and these are very light guns. You know, they are light. They're not the same height and weight as a real firearm. You know, it came with a plug. First thing I did was yanked it off. You know, I don't make any apologies for that. This gun's not going to be an outdoor gun. It's not going to be used for airsoft wars. It's not going to be used for, you know, some bullshit self-defense. It's not going to be used for anything other than a display purpose, and that's it. So, you know, if you want a real nice replica Python, you know, for 35 bucks, you know, that runs on green gas, well, shit, you know, I think that's a really, really good deal. You know, I think that they really did a good job replicating this gun. And, you know, if you want to compare it to, you know, a real Colt, well, you're going to see the difference. You know, I mean, this, you know, this is a Colt Cobra, and, you know, this isn't. You know, this is a Colt, this is not. But at the same time, you know, I mean, this is, you know, this is the real deal. And if you want to see my Colts, you can look on any of my videos. I've got a lot of videos of Colts and Diamondbacks and all the guns that I've collected, and I'm big on Colts. You can see the reflective finish. That's one thing I wish these guns had. I am going to get a Dan Wesson that is either an 8-inch black, or it will have kind of a stainless finish on it. Here's another one that you can compare with it. And on Pythons, you know, they did a polished job on the hammer. On these, you'll just not see that. But, you know, and the bluing, you just won't see it. But, you know, these are the real deal, and, you know, these are the real Colts, and these are the models. But, you know, for that much money, for that kind of money, that is a very nice replica. And, you know, if you just like replica models, hell, I think that's pretty nice. For the money, you know, 35 bucks, you know, for a gun that looks that well. Yeah, it's light, but, you know, I mean, it actually functions. You know, it functions. Single action, double action. You know, it does have a hop-up system that I guess is up here. I guess you turn that. Actually, on the Pythons, you know, it's windage and elevation. But, you know, I don't think these guns are very good performers for airsoft from the videos that I've seen. But, you know, if you're looking for a really nice replica of a Python, and you've always liked Pythons, look into this company. They're a good company. You know, I did have a Walther I bought a long time ago. It was a CO2 gun. And the Dan Wesson I'm getting is a CO2 gun. And this is a Walther. It's licensed by Walther. And, you know, it's a nice gun. But at the same time, there are a lot of giveaways. You know, it says Walther on it, and yeah, it is licensed by Walther. but you know, that really gives it away. And you know, the clip isn't, you know, it's not even the right style of you know, of base on that, but at the same time, you know, it is a blowback type of gun. And let me see, I've got to take that, I forget how to get this damn, there we go. But, you know, I mean, for a CO2 gun that shoots 177 caliber pellets, you know, it's not bad, but, you know, I haven't really, you know, I got it, I put it in a box, and I never messed with it. But the Dan Wesson, I think, would be nice, because it is licensed by Dan Wesson, and Dan Wesson makes a beautiful product. You know, the Walther, you know, you can get that kind of stuff with them, but I really like these two guns. You know, for replica model guns, you know, you size these up, the 4, the 6, you know, and then they make an 8-inch version, they make a 2.5-inch version. You know, if you're some kid who, you know, who can't afford a Colt Python, and hell, if you're an adult who can't afford a Colt Python, and would just like to have something, you know, that would resemble that in a model, you know, I think that's a very nice model gun. You know, they did a good job on these guns, and so did, you know, so did UHC. You know, they did a good job on these guns. But anyway, you know, I mean, for you know, $35, you know, hell, I think that's a good deal. You know, I mean, you know, you can load them up. You know, you can shoot them as airsofts, but I hear that the range, the accuracy, and everything else sucks on them. But I'm not an airsoft guy. You know, I do have an HK MP5 airsoft and an M16 that's modified. That's an airsoft, but you know, I don't do airsoft. But I think that's a really, really cool replica, and it's such a throwback to the old school replica model that I just thought you guys would like to see the difference. And you know, for a replica model, I do like the shiny. It does have a royal blue finish even on that plastic. So you know, when they say, well, it's ABS plastic, you really can't get, you know, that royal blue finish. Yeah, you can. You know, this is one of them that you can. Yeah, it's not the real royal blue, you know, that a Python will have, and you know, even the Colt, you know, the Colt Python came with royal blue. This is a standard blue. Once you get into the older guns have a deeper blue. But you know, Pythons come with royal blue finishes. But you know, for a model, I think that's a real good gun. Hard to beat. You know, for $35, shit. You know, I think there's enough workmanship in that. They did a real good job on them, I think. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to touch on these. But yeah, they do come with the BBs. They come with you know, the things, and these are going to be stored in holsters. So you know, I'll save my Pythons and save them in the vault. And I've got a couple that you know, I do have guns that I shoot, but at the same time, I do have Colt Pythons that are unfired and that are going to stay unfired, and I'm not going to regret doing it. I mean, they are worth so much more if you're a gun collector. It just depends on what kind of gun collector you are. If you've got other firearms to shoot, by all means, you know, if you can afford to do it. I've got a lot of duplicate guns, and I bought them when I could afford them, when they were, you know, reasonably priced. I've got a lot of Smith & Wessons. I've got Kimbers. You know, I've got a lot of the older wheel guns as well. You can see in my videos, you can see them. But these are just airsoft things, and it's just funny that, you know, I mean, if I would have known that they would have been able to produce something of this quality later on down the road, man, I wouldn't have believed it, but they did. And I think Tokyo Miari or something like that, they do make one, and they've also got Python, or not Python, but Colt. Well, actually, there is a Colt Python that is licensed by Colt, and there are several series. That's a 6-inch, that's 4-inch. But they just got in today, and I thought, what the hell? I'll go ahead and throw up a video. And I do not regret taking these damn caps off. They just pop off. I don't. If you're gonna do airsoft, if you're gonna take it outside anywhere, do not do that. It's the stupidest thing you could do. These aren't going to be outside. These are going to be on in holsters and as display pieces for and I'll keep the real things locked up. It's just a really cool, nice replica gun. I don't, as far as airsoft, yeah, they may suck, but as far as design, I think they did a good job. Oh man, this video, 21 minutes. Later on, guys, take it easy. If you don't like the video, tough shit. But if you do like the video, great. I don't regret taking these things off. I think they're stupid, but if I was going to do airsoft with them, if I was going to take them out anywhere, if I was going to even, remotely think of that, these would still be on. I mean, it's suicide to go out and walk around with a gun that that is not a real gun, and pointed at the wrong person, and you know what I mean. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna get a Dan Wesson, and it'll be an 8-inch or a 6-inch. I'm not sure which. It's a full metal, and that'll be kind of cool. But yeah, they're not real Colts, but for what they are, they're not bad. And for airsoft, man, airsoft's come a long way. I'm an old fart. I'm new to all this stuff. So, it's I think it's a good, anybody who buys one of these is going to be happy with it. Unless they take it out and they shoot it, because I don't know what the performance is on these, but I hear it's pretty poor. I hear the accuracy is pretty poor. Some people say it isn't, but a lot of people say it is. And I think the power is just not even there. But I'm not an airsoft guy. I'm a gun collector. But for replicas, for something that I can kind of go back into childhood for, these are very cool. And for these two guns at $35 a pop, shit. It's a no-brainer to me. I think it's really nice. And now I've got some nice replicas to put in, vintage holsters, so, and still save my Pythons for enjoyment. But anyway, guys, take it easy later on.